the story so far. At Amy looks urging, Layton recounts his past experiences with the Mask of Chaos. Is there a clue about the mask hidden somewhere within Layton's past? The Secret of Norwell, Chapter 2.
The first I heard of the Mask of Chaos. It must have been about 18 years ago.
I win again, Herschel. Guess that means you'll be going with me tonight.
Randall, I told you, I'm not interested in archaeology.
Stop with the nonsense, Herschel. What happened to your sense of adventure?
You can't be serious.
Yes, I'm very serious, Herschel. I'm going to make archaeological history tonight. Do you have any idea what this could mean? It'll be the find of the century, and you're coming with me. So what do you say there, old chum? You're in, right?
Randall, I don't... Okay.
This time will be different, Herschel. You won't regret it, I swear.
Yes, you won't regret it, Herschel, I swear.
I've got a good feeling about this.
I've heard that one before, Randall. I don't have time to go on another one of these silly expeditions of yours.
I wonder what Layton's hair looks like under the hat, because I don't think we actually saw his hair in any of the games. So I wonder if it's crazy like that.
I'm telling you, this is different, Herschel. It isn't some silly adventure. I think I might be onto something big this time.
Oh, really? Do tell.
Something priceless. Something indescribable. Something beyond your wildest dreams, Herschel.
All right, class, you've proven your legs work. Now please exercise your backsides and be seated.
Just meet me tonight. Soon our names will be in all the papers. You'll be the famous scholar Herschel Layton.
Alright. So let us see what we can do now. Oh, alright. That clock never seems to tell the right time, nor does my watch at all. What was that puzzle Randall was rabbiting on about? I just couldn't get my head around it at all. Rabbiting? They use a lot of terms I've never heard in my life, like what is rabbiting? I assume it comes from the word rabbit, but interesting. Wandering watchers. Alright. 4 people are talking at the end of a very enjoyable evening party, comparing watches. They realize that none of them have the correct time. A. My watch is always 20 minutes slow. B. This old thing is 10 minutes slow. C. I set mine 5 minutes fast. D. Mine is 10 minutes fast. What time is it? Okay. For a very enjoyable evening party, comparing watches, they realize that none of them have the correct time. Okay. So I assume that I need to use the time that they show me on the screen. And we don't know which one is which. Alright. So we have someone that says my watch is always 20 minutes slow. Okay. We have someone that says... Also, all of them are within 1 hour, so don't need to worry about that. This whole thing is 10 minutes slow. Okay. So, basically we have... -20, -10, +5, +10. These are the numbers that I'm working with. Okay, let's take the biggest number. So if we take 135 and we reduce it by 20, we will get 115. Okay. I don't think I should do it like that. Yeah, I don't think I should do it like that. Okay, let's do it in the reverse order. So we know that the fastest time is 135, which means this one is the one with 10 minutes fast. Okay, so 135 minus 10 is 125. Next, we have someone with 130. 130 says I set mine 5 minutes fast. So we reduce it by 5, it will also be 125. So far it's correct. Now we have a person that says my watch is always 20 minutes slow, which I assume it's the guy with the red hair, because 5 plus 20 is 25. So that's again 125. And then we have another guy with 115 plus 10, which is 125. So what time is it? It should be 125. That's not what I write. That's not what I write. Oh my god. The real struggle is writing. Come on, just give me my one. Just do it. Just do it. My god, man. Do I need to like do it this way? Okay. Oh no. Okay. 125. There we go.
I'm not certain. Did I get it?
Okay. It's 1:25 in the morning. It was a nice evening, but it is time to go home to bed. Time awaits no man. Colin keeps telling us. It doesn't seem quite fair that I always have to wait for time. Okay. The sun always gets in my eyes. If only there were curtains. I will explore in any weather, but today's perfect. Oh. You found a new item, tiny fountain pen. How can I take an item from the past and use it in my inventory later? That's actually a bit weird. Mr. Collins' lessons are always fairly easy. Herschel, did you copy down everything on the board? I did not. I did not. Oh. I think I prefer my own desk near the font. You can get away with more when you sit at the back of the class. That's true. You can also sleep quite nicely at the back of the class. When you sit in the front, it's very hard to sleep. The teacher keeps bothering you. I know from experience. Alright, let's see what the teacher reports. Now that you are all seated, kindly open your books to page 13. Today we will be talking about Donald Rattledge and his groundbreaking works, Ancient Histories. Now, Routledge investigated a number of noteworthy archaeological sites, looking for similarities between them. He identified the linking factor, the common denominator, the universal ubiquitous name Azran. Years later, we have barely scratched the surface of all there is to know about the Azran civilization and their time. But the discovery of the Azran was a huge breakthrough for archaeology, initiating unprecedented research in the field. We have here some incomplete records of an excavation from the boom period. Let's see. Layton, can you help fill in the gaps? Of course, sir. Let me see what you got. Let us fill your gaps. Artifacts. Okay. A, B, C, and D each found a unique object at different depth in the ruins. Based on the following statements, fill the missing information about each artifact, its materials and its depth. Okay, number 1. The doll is made of wood. Okay, number 2. B dug 100 cm deeper than D and found something at 150 cm deep. B dug 100 cm deeper than D and found something at 150 cm deep. Which means that D dug 50 cm. Alright. An item made of blue tinged metal was found deeper down than the wooden one. An item made of blue tinged metal was found deeper than the wooden one. Okay, this might refer to number 2. The pot is made of sandy clay. Okay. The coin was found in a shallower place than the sword. Okay, that might also refer to the other one. Okay. I guess we should see what is the next thing they show me. Okay, so I have... okay, I see. Okay, so they tell me that A dug 200 cm. Okay. And we know that the doll is made of wood. B dug 100 cm deeper than D. Okay, let's write it down. So B is 150, D is 50. I don't know what C is. They didn't mention. Oh, different depth. Okay, so C should be 100. So the first one is done, or I should say the second one. We know that the doll is made of wood. I'm going to see if they allow me to choose wood as a material for the doll, and then I can mark it. An item made of blue tinged metal was found deeper down the wooden one. Okay. Let's actually take a screenshot of that so I won't need to keep opening it. Okay, so is that the wooden doll? Let me see. This is a coin, this is a sword, this is a pot. Yes. Okay, so this should be wood. Alright, so this is done. This is 100. Okay, so we know the material that D uses is stone, and the thing that we know is that the pot is made of sandy clay, or it should be this item. So D doesn't have a pot, which means you either have a sword or you have a coin. We know also that D dug less than B, which is why I have it 50. So they told us at number 5 that the coin was found at a shallower place than the sword. So either you have a coin, which doesn't make sense because you have a rock over there, or he had an item made of blue tinged metal was found deeper down than the wooden one. Okay, the door is the wooden one, so blue tinge I guess is the sword. So the sword was down 200 centimeters. And we know the coin is shallower than the sword. Which means the coin is either C or D. This is sand, this is wood, this is some kind of rock. Okay. The coin was found in a shallower place than the sword, which basically tells me it's either C or D. An item made of blue tinged metal was found deeper than the wooden one. Yeah, it doesn't tell me anything other than that. Only thing I can say is like this is the material for this one, and I guess this is possibly not. No, it says that the pot is made from sandy clay, so the pot should be here, which means that this should be the coin, I guess. Let's double check. The door is made of wood. Okay. B dug 100 cm deeper than D and found something at 150 cm deep. Okay, so we know B found something at 150 cm deep, which is why I wrote that. And when we say 150 minus 100, it gives us 50, which is why D have 50. Okay, so far it makes sense. Number 3. An item made of blue tinged metal was found deeper than the wooden one. Okay, so we know the door was found at 150, which means that the sword should be at the lower area, which means 200. And the sword is made of metal, so I chose the metal material, which I think it's the metal material. And we have next, the pot is made of sandy clay, which is why I chose that. And then we have the coin was found in a shallower place than the sword. Okay, I believe this is correct. So let's see.
I think this may be it.
Yep.
Puzzles can be quite fun.
Okay, correct. A found a metal blade 200 cm underground. B dug 150 cm to find a wooden door. C found a clay pot at depth of 100 cm. And B discovered a stone coin 50 cm down. Oh, okay. I didn't think there are stone coins, but I guess it makes sense. Quite a successful expedition. Yes, quite successful indeed. Yes, quite. Good work, Layton. Thank you, sir. Right then, let's move on to page 14. Routledge's most famous discovery was the ancient stone circle of Planote. Early theories held that Planote was a primitive holy site, but that finding of some intricate artifacts disproved that. These artifacts were the basis for a fascinating comparative study by the paleontologist Doris Pompilius. Based on a wide range of evidence from different fields, Pompeius came up with radically new ideas about this civilization. She theorized they were scientifically advanced and had a language as evolved as our own. Furthermore, through extensive fossil analysis, she proved that Earth once had a completely different ecosystem. Now then, here's a problem related to fossils. Would anyone like to give it a shot? Sir, let me do it. Let me. Ascot? Alright then. Oh, we have another puzzle? We do. Nice. Okay. A bite of bygone days. Okay. This fossil was found on a riverbed close... Okay, found on a riverbed. Close examination revealed tooth marks, suggesting that it was formed when some kind of ancient fish bit into something tasty. Can you tell which one of the fish pictured in the book made these tooth marks? Well, judging by the number of teeth, we should have 6 of them. A have 3 of them. C have 4 of them, and B have 4 of them. But the problem is, it might refer to the lower teeth rather than the upper teeth. We don't know that. So this might be one of the tricky puzzles that is like, it's supposed to be that, but it's actually the other one. So, yeah. Are there any other indications I can use before I do that? No, the size of the teeth is more or less the same. Yeah, there isn't really something specific. But what I believe is it's either A or it's either C. And I choose C because of the teeth shape. Like the numbers of the teeth are quite big. So it might be that they make like this indentation when it's the lower part of the jaw, obviously not the upper one. But yeah, it's either A or C. So let's try A. Let's go for the obvious one. Okay.
Solving puzzles is what I'm best at.
Correct. The answer is A. The shape of the teeth is irrelevant. Looking at the bite mark as a whole, you can see that only 3 pairs of front teeth made an impression. So only a fish without any back teeth would have made these marks. Yep. Alright, so I was correct. Well demonstrated, I see you have done your homework on this topic. What? This is basic stuff, sir. So you're saying you didn't do your homework? Next page. This will be in your test next week, so make sure to take notes. Our forefathers built many ancient edifices here in England, of which we found but the merest handful. Most of them were undoubtedly lost in the passage of history, but their legacy remains in various forms. Sir, you have a question, Ascot? Go on then, out with it. Sir, have you heard of the Mask of Chaos? Are you being impudent, Ascot? Of course I've heard of it. The Mask of Chaos is a mythical treasure, documented by Donald Routledge. What is your opinion, sir? Does it exist? I find it hard to believe that such a legendary object could lie undiscovered for so long. If I thought such things could still be found, I would not be teaching at this school, but out digging for treasure. Even if its existence could be proven, it would be quite impossible to find, and you know it. So I would like it if you would stop wasting lesson time with irrelevant questions, escort? Right, sorry sir. Randall apologizing? That's a first. Since you're so keen, escort, you can solve the next problem too. Let's go. Okay, puzzle 15. Fix the fossil. This splendid fossil is broken into 9 pieces. It was actually restored once before. But well, let's just say one of the research assistants is a bit of a butterfingers. It used to be a 3-on-3 square. Think you can get it back to normal? Since it is quite fragile and broken enough as it is, you can only move 3 pieces at a time. Okay. Horizontally or vertically. Put it back together in the center of the grid. Okay. Slide the pieces horizontally and vertically. You can only move them in lines of 3. Paying attention to the pattern on the pieces, arrange them into a 3-on-3 square in the center. Okay, so I can only move 3 at a time apparently. Oh. Like literally 3 at a time. I'm not allowed to take the... Oh. Interesting. Okay. Okay. Okay, so this is correct. I think this is the last piece that should be there. Which means I need to move it up somehow. And... okay. Interesting. The way they want me to do it is actually not the simplest. Keep trying to pull certain areas, but I can't. It won't let me. Okay. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. I want to get the bottom right up. But how do I do that without messing everything up? Basically, I want the tail. Okay, if I move it forward, then move it there, then move it there. I need to place it here. I need to place it here. Right here. Yeah, this are definitely connect. Okay. I think I might have scrolled down. Yeah, let's set it to start down. Okay. This is correct. I want to get the middle one over there. Okay. I also still don't know what to do with this thing. I think that these two are connected. Like, I think the setup is supposed to be the spiral thing. Connected to this, connected to that, then the eye, then the thing. Which means that these two needs to be together. Kinda like that. Isn't that correct? Okay.
Leave this to me. I'm sure of it.
I made it more complicated than it should have been. Alright. Correct. So it was an Ammonite fossil. You can solve this puzzle in just 4 moves. Who would have thought it was so simple? Yep, I did it in basically 4 moves. So, yeah. You got a new stage for your toy robot, the rediscovered ruin. Alright students, that is it for today. You may tidy up your desk and go. Wow, today's class just flew by. Old Collins may be grumpy, but his lessons are blooming fantastic. What got you into today? Pestering about the mask. Is this to do with your treasure hunting expedition? Oh, so you want to know now? So you want to know now, do you? You do, don't deny it, Ersh. Hey, no need to be smug. I just wondered why you would be daft enough to wind up all Coach Collins. All Coach Collins. I suppose. Well, I suppose if you come over to my house later, I could tell you about it. I mean, if you really want to know, I can't hide it from you, can I? Randall, old chum. Sometimes I think you live on a different planet. Haha, I wish. Okay, so before we leave... Can we get another one from you? Mr. Collins. What is it? Sir, do you really honestly believe the Mask of Chaos is gone forever? Test. Not again, Ascot. I thought that discussion was over. But sir, I just have to know, what makes you think the mask was lost? Think about it, it belongs to a time and culture that are known only for myths and heresy. Consequently, any clues that might hint as to its whereabouts are ultimately pure speculation, and so they shall remain. You know, it's a shame you don't put as much thought into topics that don't disrupt class. But sir, you are an expert in the field. I was sure if anyone knew something about the mask, it would be you. Ascot, I'm delighted by your keen interest in archaeology, but please, save the flattery for your fan club. As it happens, Donald Rutledge isn't the only scholar to write about the Mask of Chaos. That said, nobody has been able to say what significance the mask really had, other than as a carnival accessory. Regardless, any archaeologist with sense will tell you that the mask was lost aeons ago, if it ever existed. So what would happen if, say, I found tomorrow? You would become a legend in the world of archaeology, just as Rutledge was, but the odds are infinitesimal. Look, Ascot, if you're that keen, you should stick to what you love. Just keep your questions for after class. I will, and I'm really sorry, sir. Alright. Go off home then. Goodbye, sir. Okay, is there anything left there before I move to the next section? I can speak to him again, I don't want to. Yeah, let's move on. Alright, so what do we have here? A bit of sunlight certainly makes the place brighter. The best time to look out of this window is at sunset. There are always tons of notices, maybe I should read them. If the notices were important, they would make them legible. Okay. What? Did I click off it by mistake? I think I did. There we go. That umbrella has been lying there for donkey years. Hasn't anyone claimed it yet? Poor umbrella, I feel your pain. Donkey years, I don't know what donkey years are, but alright. The broken Brody. Okay. A friend of yours is having a bit of trouble in a shop. A sudden gust of wind has broken my Brody. It was my favorite too. I was hoping to buy a new one with the exact same design, but all the umbrellas here look pretty similar and I don't know which one to get. Which umbrella should I pick? Okay, it wants the exact same design. Which means it doesn't actually matter what the shape is like. Which umbrella matches? Okay, so first of all, based on the handle, it's not C, it's not D, and it's not A. So it's either B or E. Alright. Both B and E have this outside layer. I don't know what the top looks like, but their top is identical, so it doesn't matter. They do have one with white spots and the other one with like a bunch of different spots. And the only indication we actually get from the other umbrella is that they have white spots on it. We don't know what the other spots are. Are there any other indications I can work with? Oh, we know that E has spots on the inside. So we know that it shouldn't be E, which means the answer should be B.
I'm not certain. Did I get it?
There we go. Correct, the answer is Bowley B. A's handle is different. C's handle has no decorations, D has more spokes, and E has a design on the inside as well as the outside. Yep. There is no name written on it, and nobody is going to claim it. I will just leave it there as part of the scenery. Alright. I have a feeling that we need to speak to the big guy. So I'm going to skip him for a bit. It seems wrong to look in other people's lockers. They are hardly likely to contain hidden treasure anyway. Okay. Okay. I think I got everything I can get here. I'll just speak to the big guy. Getting Dalston? Hop. It's Barscott and Layton. What rubbish are you two ninnies going on about today? It's not rubbish. Even you have to see that archaeology is fun. Or are you too cool for fun? What's the point in fun if it's not going to earn you any cash? I'm setting up my own hotel business and I'm going to make an even bigger fortune than my old man. I bet the only reason you like all that ancient history, guff, is cause it will get you out of this hole, right? I happen to like this village. I will only be living to get a degree in archaeology, and there is nowhere better than Grashenheller. Good. While you are off minching around in London, I'll be building my hotel empire. Not a problem, Dalston. I will just use your hotel as a base of operations for my fact-finding expeditions. Is that it? Can I not get anything else? Well, I don't know how you lot stay sane. All I ever hear from your mouth is that tripe about archaeology. Huh. I think it's your sanity that's in question, Dalston. Watch you don't lose your mind in that big empty noggin, eh? Wow, sold. You have a big head. It isn't his fault that he was born like that. So mean. Alright, let's move on to the next area.
It's simple, Hersh.
Mary! Aren't you going to need your bag for study group tonight?
Angela!
Hey, Randall! Did you get out of practice early today?
Yes, Herschel and I have some important things to do.
Everything looks great. We're done. Can you two wait a minute while I get my things?
She's as radiant as ever.
And she likes the most handsome chap in town.
Too bad for you.
Yeah, right, Layton.
Oh, Angela.
Don't you take that from him, Herschel. Randall, is that any way to treat your best friend?
Well, I suppose I could be a little nicer. But Herschel needs to stop running away from his future in archaeology.
He doesn't look like he's running away. Perhaps he's just not interested.
Thank you. I think I can change that. I've got something very special to show the two of you.
Ah, not again. What is it now?
The Mask of Chaos.
Why am I not surprised? Randall, what is it about this fairy tale that has captured your imagination?
Always the skeptic. That's all right. At least I won today's fencing match, which means that tonight we do what I want to do, correct? 8 o'clock, right, Herschel? Angela, you too. To the future that awaits.
Typical Randall. He never gives up. I might be able to get some reading in before going ground to ease, though. I have to say, some of the English phrases are a bit weird for me, because I'm not used to reading English literature. I'm used to like reading like, well, not, I shouldn't say English, I should say British. Yeah, I'm not used to reading British literature. That schools look unremarkable, but it's steeped in history. Oh. Okay, better come. Is there nothing here? Okay. Huh. That's a very empty area. This looks like something, but I guess it's nothing. Oh. Okay. I saw something. Give me that. Where was it? Where was it? Come on. Huh? It changed color for a second. I'm not imagining it. It's probably just a coin, but come on, man. Oh, there it is. There is our classroom. It's nothing special. Alright. Let's get out of here. I assume they want me to go here. That Randall has got far too good at fencing lately. It's not going to let him win the next bout. Okay. So this is my target area. It's been almost 3 years since we moved to Stansbury. Yeah, we got the coin. Yeah, more coins. Nothing beats good book accompanied by the murmur of water and some coins. Is there anything else? No puzzles so far, which is kinda weird. Oh, I saw you. Cycling down from school is such a rush. Okay, I think that's it. Let's go inside. Hello, Ma. I'm home. Oh, Herschel dear. Will you come over here for a second? Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Of course. Is something the matter? Where is my mother? These documents are pretty boring. Okay, found some coins in the fireplace. Okay, we can zoom into that, which I assume is my mother. Oh, it's been a while since I read... No, Herschel. No, Herschel, put it down, okay. I was thinking it's a title, it's on the title. He's talking to himself. All I know about this is that it was taken by somebody famous. This sofa is so comfy, I always fall asleep as soon as I sit down. Oh. Okay. I wonder what his mother would look like. If she have a top hat, I'm closing the game. If his mother had a top hat, I would just closing the game. Okay, she doesn't have a top hat. There are so many. Mom must be making a marmalade. Oh. Ah, nothing like a good glass of fruit juice in the morning to start the day and nice and refreshed. Oh yes, the label. Every bottle comes with a fruit puzzle. Here we go. What does this one says? Let's see. Puzzle number 18. That's juicy. Alright. The owner of a juice factory wanted to send a gift to 3 important customers. To make sure no one was offended, they all given 18 liters of juice, but there weren't enough of each bottle size to make the shipment identical. Still, the owner was able to make up 3 shipments of 18 liters using different sets of small, medium, and large bottles. Can you work out how many liters of juice each size of bottle holds? All the sizes are whole numbers, by the way. Okay, hold on. So we have 18 liters of juice. No wait, the owner of a juice factory wanted to send a gift to 3 important customers. To make sure no one was offended, they were all given 18 liters of juice. Okay, so it's 18 times 3, basically. But there weren't enough of each bottle size to make the shipment identical. Still, the owner was able to make up 3 shipments of 18 liters using different sets of small, medium and large bottles. Okay, so basically we need to... Can you work out how many liters of juice each size of bottle holds? We need to figure out the numbers for each bottle, basically. Okay, so we know that each one is 18, and we know that the sizes are identical, so a small is a small, a medium is a medium, and large is a large. So according to that, we have... I actually can use my notepad for this one. So let's actually write it down the notepad. I actually set up a thing so that we have that. So I don't need to like write in a weird manner like I usually do. Alright, so we know that A have let's call it big, medium and small. So I'm going to write it like that. A equal 1 big plus 3 medium plus 3 small. Okay, that's 1. A B equal 2 big plus 6 small. And we know that C equal 4 medium plus 6 small? Yeah, pretty sure it's 6 small. Alright, so this is our formulas. And we also know that each one of them is equal to 18. So just for the sake of like writing it down, I'm just going to do that real quick. There we go. Alright. So that's our formula. The easiest way will be just to like put them equal to one another and find out the thing, so let's do that. So we know that 1b will be equal 18 minus 3m minus 3s. Alright, and that will be equal to... And no, all of that needs to be multiplied by 2. And then it will be plus 6 small equal 18. Okay, so this is our formula, basically. So that will be 2 times 18 is 16, so 6 plus 1, so it means 36. Alright, so we have 36 minus 6m minus 6s plus 6s, so the s's are cancelling out, so we have 36 minus 6m equal 18, and that will be 13 minus 18, which is 18, so it will be 6m equal 18, and then we reduce that, or whatever you call it in English, divide. I think we call it divide in English. So we divide 18 by 6 means m is equal 3. Okay, so we know that the medium is 3. Now let's see if I can do the other stuff using that. We can do C, since now we know how much m is. So 4 times 3 plus 6s equal 18. Okay. So that's 1, which is 12, and then 12 minus 18 is 6. So s equal 1. And then we have the large bottle. Let's just use the second formula just for the sake of it. So 2b plus 6 equal 18. So that will be 12, and then b will be equal 6. Alright. Let's double check. 18 minus 6 is 12. 12 divided by 2 is 6. So be 6, and we did 12 minus that will be 1. Yep, that's correct. 36, 18, yep, that's correct as well. Yeah, it should be correct. So let's try it out. Alright, so the big one is 6, the medium one is 3, and the small one is 1. God damn it. Like that. Come on, man! There we go. Okay, so 6, 3, 1.
I think this may be it.
Yep.
Puzzles can be quite fun.
Yeah, puzzles can be quite fun. Okay, we don't need that anymore. That's right. The large bottle holds 6 liters, the medium holds 3, and the small holds 1. That's a lot of juice. Ma likes to buy grape juice for recipes on the packing. I would probably pick orange if I had a choice, though. Alright. Oh, come on, come on. Why is my mother jumping around like a crazy lady? Okay. It's kind of funny. Our feet are like dangling in the air for a few seconds every time she jumps. Okay, I think there's nothing else. So let's see what Mother has for us. Oh, thank goodness you're home, Herschel. Your father is in trouble. In trouble? What do you mean, Ma? What has happened? It's awful. Some strange men in black suits came to the door around midday, demanding to see you. Your father said they were old acquaintances of his, and just went off with them, and he's been gone ever since. That was hours ago. Where on earth can he be? Oh, I knew those men looked suspicious. Calm down, Ma. I'm sure he's fine. Do you want me to go out and look for him? Oh, Herschel, would you? I would stay here in case he comes home. Alright then. I'll be back soon, so don't worry, okay? Thank you, Herschel. And do be careful. If anything happens, just cry out for help as loud as you can. I will keep an ear out. I will be fine, Ma. Nothing will happen to me. I will find Pa and bring him back. Alright. Is there anything else you want to tell me? Any luck finding your father yet? There has been no sign of him here. Where can he be? I will find him, Ma. Don't worry. Okay. So my mother is not jumping anymore, which is good, I think. Okay, I don't see anything. Let's leave. Okay. Am I supposed to look for hints? Or something? It's been almost 3 years since we moved to Stanbury. You know, that's already something I saw. Let's just move. This is Power talking about. He's probably on Pebble Lane chatting to someone. Okay, there we go. Pebble Lane. Here, let's see. Okay. Getting water out of that pump is a backbreaking work. Apparently I can keep doing it. Alright. Okay, let's move on. I would say this needs a trim. Yeah, that's needs a trim quite badly. It has become part of the building. Gloria's house always looks the same as it always has. Okay. When it is those flowers coming into bloom? Where indeed? Or when indeed? Where is my puzzle? Is the old lady the only thing? Yeah, I guess the old lady is the only thing. Alright, let's go.
Oh, hello, Ershel, lad. What is the time? Shouldn't you be off, home?
I'm looking for Pa actually. Apparently he went out with a group of strange men. Have you seen him?
Oh, Roland? Oh, sorry, I haven't seen him all day. Don't tell me Lucille is having you run around after him again, is she? It's always like this. Your pal goes missing for 2 seconds, and she walks herself into a tease and sends out the cavalry. But since you're here, Herschel, maybe you can help with something. Don't worry, it won't take long. These 2 ladybirds settled on a corn cob earlier, and they have been crawling about like crazy. I think they're lost.
Let me see. Okay, spinning maze. 2 ladybird friends, one red and one blue, have lost each other on the corn cob. Wherever they go, the corn kernel seems to get between them. Can you guide the red ladybird around the corn cob? To me, it's a blue friend. Touch the screen to change the direction the ladybird is facing. Hold the stylus down to have the ladybird walk in that direction. Okay, so hold on. Touch the touchscreen to change the direction the ladybird is facing, and then hold the stylus down. Okay, so I basically drag it in order for them to move. Guard the ladybird. Okay, so I'm only controlling this one, from the look of it. Okay, I can't do anything with the green ones. I think it's just a maze. Okay, this is blocked. Come on. Come on, you can do it. Okay. Apparently there was no pathway from there. No, come on, I want to see. Okay, this is blocked. Come on, you can do it. Alright. If I had to guess, it's probably this way. Okay, apparently I'm guessing wrong. There you are.
I'm not certain. Did I get it?
Well done. From a lady's point of view, a corncob must seem like an impenetrable maze. Okay, got new shop aisle, crockery.
Ooh, marvelous. Thank you, Herschel. You are a good lad. If I see Roland, I will be sure to say you are looking for him. Be careful not to trip while you are running around.
Haha, it's okay, Gloria. It's not dark yet, and I've tied my shoelaces, so I should be fine. Thanks though.
I suppose. You're too big for me to tell you that now.
Right. Pa, where are you? You must be somewhere in the market. Yeah, with the next area unlocked. Let's see what you have to say before we leave.
Why, hello again, Herschel. Still no signs of Ronald, I'm afraid.
Oh, well... Would you tell him Mai is looking for him if he comes past?
Yes, of course. Good luck.
Alright. Let's just move on. I don't need to click on anything else. So. Oh, where is Pa? I can't see him anywhere. Oh. Good evening. Hello, Henry? Are you out shopping? Yes, I've been sent to purchase the week's groceries for the household. I see. That's a bit rough on you, isn't it? It is just part of my duties. And may I ask where you are bound to? Oh, I'm looking for my father. You haven't seen him, have you, Henry? No, I'm afraid I haven't. I'm very sorry, I can't help you. That's alright. ... right, I suppose I will better go on looking then. Yes, I wish you luck. Okay. Apparently this is the guy that she married to? I guess. Since this is the first Henry that we saw so far. The smell of coffee is okay, but the aroma of tea is far superior. I have to agree. Blimey, all the information a coffee lover could wish for. Blimey indeed. Okay. Okay, we got an item. You found the new item, flowers and honey. Okay. Another coin. No, I didn't mean to. Man. There we go. It's very finicky when you are like on the edges, so I need to like be careful. Must mix vegetables into everything. I do not see anything else. The smell of coffee is okay, but the aroma is superior. Okay, so everything I already clicked on is available again, which is not great. Okay, let's speak to this man.
Oh, hello, Herschel. You look well today.
Good evening, Lionel.
You know, I just saw that Binpool Henry from the Ascot house.
They certainly make that boy pull its weight.
Pull his weight. Speaking of pulling weight, I got some bricks for me mom's garden wall, but I can't work out how much they weigh.
His mom garden. It looks like he's a grandfather. Alright. This puzzle is worth 40. Okay. 9 red bricks. Lionel is contemplating a row of 9 bricks for his mother's garden wall. Apparently, 2 adjacent bricks in the row are much heavier than the rest. But he can't remember which. He has decided the only way to identify them is to lift the bricks one by one. But to save time, he is going about it in the most efficient way possible. Can you work out the maximum number of bricks he might need to lift in order to find the 2 heavy ones? Okay, so the way that he's going to lift the bricks one by one. So they are telling me to work out the most efficient way for him to find it. Apparently 2 adjacent bricks in the row are much heavier than the rest. 2 adjacent bricks in the row are much heavier than the rest. But he can't remember which. He decided the only way to identify them is to lift the bricks one by one. Okay. We have 9. So there will always be 1 left over. Since we don't know if it's a pair with 1 or 2, or pairs were like 2, 3, 3, 4, and so on and so forth. So what will be the best way to go about it? How many bricks is the thing that I need to put in? Can you work out the maximum? Wait, if they want me to write the maximum number of bricks it needs to lift in order to find the 2 heavy ones. Okay, if it's the maximum and not the minimum, then it needs to lift 9, but you lift them one by one and you lift them also in pairs. 2 adjacent bricks in the row are much heavier than the rest. Okay, so let's think about it. So if he lifts up 1 and then he lifts up 2, he's like, no, they are not heavier than the rest. We won't know that. He will need to also lift up the other ones in order to know that. So he will need to like lift them and remember, unless they want me to compare it each time, because if they want me to compare it each time, he will need to like lift it 1, 1, then next one 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, and then circle back and then check them again 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1 to compare the weight. I assume they will remember them. So if he remembers them, He still picks them one by one. It should be 9, but I... When you work out the maximum number of bricks you might need to lift in order to find the 2 heavy ones. I'm going to try 9. If it's wrong, whatever. But it seems weird that it's not 9. Oh my god, please. No! No! Well, one day actually I get my 9. Okay, let's try to do it the way that like it's written on the keyboard. So it's written like that on the keyboard, right? Nah, man. I got a 7. I got a 2. Not a 9. Just let me do it, man. Question mark? Not an 8. No, not an 8. No, not a 4. Make it into a 9, man. Question mark. The struggle. The struggle of fighting a 9. There gotta be an easier way to do it. Well, I'm not writing a 4, just give me my 9, man. Like, why would anyone write a 0? Yeah. How does it see it as a 0? How does it see it as a 2? One day, I shall have my 9. One day. Can I write a 6? Okay, it does recognize a 6, so for some reason it has a specific problem with the 9. Am I not supposed to write a 9? Is that the thing? The game is like, well, I'll give you a hint. The answer is not 9. Stop writing it. What if I write a 0? gives me an 8. Oh, okay, I understand. The way that this thing recognizes writing is by the way that they probably teach the how to write letters in. Okay, I understand now. Okay, all right.
Here goes.
Oh no. So it's not nice. It's not the obvious answer.
I thought maybe.
Too bad. Remember that Lionel wants to leave the bricks in the most efficient way possible. Okay. I lost some pickles, that's fine, I don't care. Okay, so... he decided the only way to identify them is to leave the bricks one by one. But to save time, he's going about it in the most efficient way possible. Okay, so the most efficient way possible, and I need to work out the maximum number of bricks he might need to lift in order to find the 2 heaviest ones. If we are doing it in an efficient way, we know that it should be a heavy brick. So we can go about it like we're saying we are going to pick 1, 3, 5, 7 and 9. Which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then out of these we choose the heaviest ones. And then we pick the ones next to it. So that was 5. So if we go by that logic, and then the next one will be 2, 4, 6 and 8. Yeah, it will be 2, 4, 6 and 8. But again, that's more than the number that they want me, which is why I did it in the other way, because the other way is more efficient in my opinion, but maybe not for what they want. Now let's double check. Can I write memos? I can. Okay. So we do 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. So that's 5. And then we do the other ones. So the way to do it efficiently would be to only check the ones that are next to the heaviest ones. Which means that it will check only a few of them. Can I decide how many few of them it will check though? If I check 8, and if I check 2, do that and that, and well, we don't need to check the last one, right? Technically speaking, because once we know that, well, yeah, there will be at least one we won't check. Because we know for certain it will be light. A light area, kinda. So 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I guess 7 will be the amount that we need to check in reality. Can also be 8, technically speaking, but yeah. Because if we check, like, let's that we know that like 7 is heavy. So now that we need to check 8 and we need to check 6. So we check 2 of them, which makes the 7. But if that happened to be like both of them are light, it means we also need to check the other ones. So I guess the number will be 8. Yeah, I guess the number will have to be 8. So we don't need to check the last one.
I'm not certain. Well, I'm hardly surprised.
Okay. I'm not understanding something then. Let's see. Apparently 2 adjacent bricks in a row are much heavier than the rest. But he can't remember which. He decided that the only way to identify them is to lift the bricks one by one. But he's going about it in the most efficient way possible. Can you work out the maximum number of bricks you might need to lift in order to find the 2 heaviest ones? It's not 9, and it's not 8. At this point it's more like guessing than actually solving it, because I already tried 9 and 8. But I also said it's probably 7, but the thing is with the 7 it's giving me a problem with that, because if we, let's say, if we check this one, okay, we check this one, so we know that this is, for example, light. So it cancels 9, it cancels 7 as a maybe, because 7 can still go with 6. So 6 is still an option for it. And if that doesn't happen, it's still possible that 6 is heavy enough for 5 and 6 to work together. But if not, then we check with the 5 and 4. And then that makes it again 8, which is why I set it as 8. And again, if this doesn't work, then the obvious answer is 2, so we don't need to check the last one. Is there a better way to do it? Well, it might be part of the problem is that can I clear the page? Yes. Okay. Let's try to start from here. So 2, 4, 6 and 8. Okay. So I went for the even numbers. So since I went for the even numbers, now we have the other ones. So I will need to check If we know that 2 is heavy, we will check 1 and 3. And if both of them are light, we will need to check something else. So we'll check, for example, number 5. Or we can leave 5 alone. Okay, let's say I'm leaving 5 alone. So instead I go and check 9 and 7. But it's possible that 6 is heavy, or 8 is heavy. It still brings me back to 8. Again, the question is also rather they check it in pairs. That's something I don't know.
I think this may be it.
Okay.
I need another go at that one.
Let's see. Ryan was contemplating a row of 9 bricks for his mother's garden wall. Apparently, 2 adjacent bricks in a row are much heavier than the rest, but he can't remember which. He decided the only way to identify them is to leave the bricks one by one. But to save time, he's going about it in the most efficient way possible. Can you walk it out? Okay. If we go for 5 and 2 and 8. Now we are saying that either 9 is heavy, 7 heavy, 6 heavy, 4 heavy, It's also possible that obviously it's like 10, 4 or whatever, but at the moment we checked 3 of them. Okay. So we know that the heavy ones should be the in-between areas. Or the corner ones, but if it's the corner ones we can like check it right away. But anyway, we wasted 3 moves. So out of these, we don't know if they're heavy or not. Well, we know which one will be the heaviest between them, I guess. So now that we know which one is the heaviest between them, we should check one of the middle numbers, because the middle numbers also lead us to other stuff. So I will check in that case 7, for example. So I check at 7 and I know that it's light. So I will go and check number 3, for example. So I also see that 3 is light. So then I go and check 6. And then that's so that this is also light. But now, because I know that it's light, my options are limited. So we did 7, was 1. We did 3, it was 2. We did 6, it was 3. So that's 6 moves. Okay, I did 6 moves. And the 6 moves should tell me the pair of adjacent ones should be the heaviest ones. Should be the heaviest ones. I think I'm missing something. check 2 of them, check 4 of them, check 5 of them. Well, in reality, I won't be jumping around all the time. I will be going like, okay, this one is the heaviest one between these. So I will check its left and I will check its right. And if neither of them is correct, I will move to the next one. I'll check its left and I'll check its right. So I checked 3 of them. I chose the heaviest one. I check its left, I check its right. Which is now 5 in total. Now, once again, I check the ones that are heaviest. So my options will be, for example, I know 7, 5, and 2 weights. 8 and 9 are irrelevant, since I would check the 9 and 7, for example, in my first thoughts. I checked 9 and 7. So now I need to check 3, 4, and 6. I know that 5 is heavier than 2, for example. So I will check 6 and 4. And that will be that. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Which brings me back to 7. That makes
I'm
sense.
not certain.
No, I need
Well, I'm hardly surprised.
Yeah, I don't understand it. I need, let's grab a hint. Let's grab a hint. I have plenty of coins, so I don't care. The key is the fact that the 2 heavy bricks are next to each other. For example, say Lionel leaves brick 2 and 4. If the board weighted the same, then which brick could he roll out? For example, say Lionel lifted brick 2 and 4. If the board weighted the same, then which brick could he roll out? Okay. Since we know that 2 and 4 are equal in weight, it means that 1 and 3 won't be... Now we know that 1. We know that 1 can be rolled out, and we know that... And we know also that 3 can be rolled out. So 1 and 3 can be rolled out. Yeah. Which means we still have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Like it can be that 5 and 6 are heavy, so I'm not going to roll out 5. But that means I wasted 2 moves for checking 4 of them. So now let's say that I'm checking 6 and 8. If I know that either 6 or 8 will have the same weight as 2 and 4, which means that either I will only check 7 and 9, or I will either check 5 and 7. Which brings us to 5. Okay, so my problem was that I figured that all of the bricks weighed differently. det bör inte
I'm
det
not certain. Well, I'm hardly surprised.
It checks 2 and 4. I roll out 1 and 3. We still have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I check 6 and 8. I know that either 6 or 8 are heavy now. So that's 1, 2, 3 moves. Okay. 3 moves have been enacted. Which means that I will check 7 and or 9 or 6 or 4. Yeah, I will check either 5 or 7 or 9 or 7. So I only need to check 1 basically. Okay, I miscounted, it should be 4 then.
I think this may be it.
Yes. Oh my god.
Puzzles can be quite fun.
I got stuck on that for no reason. Correct, it's 4. For example, he might start by lifting bricks 2, 4 and 6. If one of them is heavier, he can then lift a neighboring brick. If that brick isn't also heavy, then he knows the one on the other side is. If none of the bricks out of 2, 4 and 6 are heavier than the rest, he can simply lift 9. If 9 is heavier, then 8 must be the other heavy brick. If 9 isn't heavier, then it has to be 7 and 8. Yep. My problem was that I didn't realize that all of the bricks would be the same weight, other than these two. Alright. Oh, that's right. Clever. That is. You have my thanks, lad. Happy to help. I'll be on my way then. Good luck with the ball. Toodaloo. Toodaloo to you too. The days are just getting shorter and shorter. And all that work still to do in me mom's garden. Well, you go to your mom's garden. I like coming here for a cup of tea and some homemade biscuits. Okay. I expect the chicks have already flown the nest. Is there nothing else? I don't see anything. Now what? What could have happened to Pong? It doesn't usually stay out this late. Ahoy there, Herschel! Where are you off to in such a hurry? Oh, hello, Uncle Doug. Have you seen Pa anywhere? Orange? Can't say I have, no. Herschel, my boy, how would you like to give your Uncle Doug a hand with the puzzle? Sure. Let me see what you got, uncle. A leak of paint. Okay, the prospective tenants of this row of houses have some unusual requirements. Okay, 1. I want to live next to a red house. Number 2. No blue neighbors, please. Oh, and a house on the end is out of the question. Okay. Number 3. 2 doors down from a yellow house. And no neighbors the same color as us. Okay, and the last one. I'm fine with any color as long as it's not blue or red. Aha. Can you repaint just one house so that every tenant can have their dream home? Touch the house to change its color. Okay. So I'm only supposed to change one house. I want to live next to a red house. Okay, the moment the blue is living next to a red house. And no blue neighbors, please. Oh, and a house on the end is out of the question. Okay. So yellow doesn't want blue neighbors. Which means that yellow is not the answer for number 2. But it can be that number 2 is the blue house. Because it can be blue himself, but it just doesn't want blue neighbors. So it's possible to keep it as it is. Okay, 2 doors down from a yellow house. And no neighbors the same color as us. Okay, this is still correct. I'm fine with any color as long as it's not red, it's not blue or red, which is yellow. I want to live next to a red house. Number 1, I want to live next to a red house. Number 2, no blue neighbors. Okay. Each number represents a tenant. It's not the same tenants, it's always different tenants. So we have someone that says, I want to live next to a red house. At the moment we have someone that's living next to a red house. We have the blue and the yellow. So this one works out. Number 2 says, no blue neighbors. Please. Oh, and a house on the end is out of the question. Which means number 2 could be the blue one and number 1 could be the yellow one. So let's say these two are set like that. Okay. Then the next one says 2 doors down from a yellow house and no neighbors in the same color as us. So 2 doors from a yellow house. Number 3 will be the blue house in that case, which doesn't work for us. Okay. Two doors down from a yellow house. And no neighbors the same color as us. Two doors down from a yellow house. It could be number 4, technically speaking. Number 3 can be number 4. And then number 4 says, I'm fine with any color as long as it's not blue or red. Which means I can make it yellow. And then it will work out. Yeah, I think I just need to change number 2 to yellow. Yeah.
I think this may be it. I need another go at that one.
Take another look at the tense conditions to see which color is which. Okay, apparently I was too icy. I want to live next to a red house. Okay. So you live next to a red house. Correct. No blue neighbors, please. Oh, and a house at the end is out of the question. Okay, so once again, we said that one is living in a red house. It's either in 3 or 4. In 2 or 4. And he wants to live next to a red house. So it's either 1 or 4. Number 2 doesn't want blue neighbors. And he doesn't want to be on the edge. Which is, again, this is the troublemaker. Number 2 is the troublemaker. Because he doesn't want to be in the edge and he doesn't want blue neighbors, which means that I need to only change one of the guys in the middle in order to fit whatever he wants. Either that or just put him inside the blue house, and then he can't complain. Okay. 2 doors down from a yellow house. And no neighbors the same color as us. 2 doors from a yellow house. And no neighbor the same color as us. Doors, yellow house, and no neighbor the same color as us. So far it's correct. I am fine with any color as long as it's not blue or red. Yeah, which is why I changed it to yellow, but it didn't work out. Okay. If I change the 4th one to be yellow. Okay, let's see if it applies to everything here. I want to live next to a red house. Either 1 or 2 living next to a red house. No blue neighbors, please. Oh, and a house at the end is out of the question, which means you will live in the blue house, so you will live in number 3. Which means that number 1 will live in number 1. So 1 is 1 and 2 is 3. Then 2 doors down from a yellow house. And no neighbors the same color as us. So 2 doors from a yellow house. And no color the same as us. Technically, it is not the same color the way it is right now. But we can also change number 4 to be yellow and it will still be the same thing. Okay, and number 4. I'm fine with any color as long as it's not blue or red. Okay.
I think this may be it.
Yeah, alright.
Looks as if I got it.
Correct. Repairing the rightmost house in yellow satisfies all tenants' conditions. Never mind the cost of materials and labor, the landlord ought to change all 4 of them for the time it took to work out which house to paint. You got a new play for your rabbit rehearse. Postman Bun.
Marvelous, my boy. You truly are your father's son. What did you say you were up to again?
Pa left the house in a hurry earlier. Ma is worried and sent me out to look for him.
Oh, tush. Lucille always such a worry guts. But if I see Roland, I will give him the word.
Thank you, Uncle Doug. Well, Pa isn't in town, so I suppose he must have gone on towards the woods. Okay. Uncle McDonald at the farm? Yeah. Ma tells me they used to sell souvenirs here. Why did they close? You found a new item, feeble lamp. Come on. Okay. Ah, there you are.
Oh, Marshal, what is the matter with you?
You went off with a group of strangers and didn't come back all day. Mai is going to spare.
Oh, your mother is just a fastboat. I told her they were old friends of mine.
She didn't seem to think they looked like friends. And she also said they were looking for me.
What a pair of nervous Nellies you both are. I'm right here, safe and sound. As for those men, I know them from years ago. They had seen you as a baby and were curious to see how you had grown up, that is all.
Alright. But what were you doing all the way out here in the woods?
They want to visit the noble wall, so I offer to show them the way. It's quite hard to find it for tourists.
Tourists? We haven't been getting many of those lately.
No, these days no. But back when the wall was excavated, Stansbury was all over the news. The tourists streamed in. They flocked in all year round, day and night, just to see the noble wall.
This must have been years before we moved here. I can't imagine Stansbury as a tourist spot.
There was a sudden surge of interest in archaeology in this little town. All sorts of scholars and researchers started moving in. People who sought to decipher the wall, to crack its secrets, to gain knowledge of unknown civilizations.
Ah, Pa, you are starting to sound just like Randall.
Oh. You must have a glorious time with your friends, Randall then. Anyhow, let's go home. Best not to keep your mother waiting any longer, or she'll be having kittens.
Yes, let's. I'm starving. My mother will be having kittens. Yep. That makes sense. Perfect sense. Alright. Some of the British slang is falling short on me. I don't get it, but that's fine. I do not see anything else, so I assume that I'm good. Don't need to speak to him. Be like, yo, look, I found my father.
Ah, Ronald, I just saw your boy, and he was running around looking for... Oh, here's the lad. He found you then. Yes, I was just showing some friends around. Thanks for the message, though. Maybe you should tell the missus next time to go gallivanting off. Lucky that Herschel here is an expert retriever. Woof woof.
Thanks, Uncle Dog.
Alright.
Do I need to speak them? No.
Oh, hey, Ronald. I'm glad to see you haven't been kidnapped by strange men after all. Kidnapped? What are you on about? Don't tell me you were worried. No, I know Lucille and her flight of fancy. She'll be glad to have you back, though.
Yeah, she will be glad to have you back. The dear old papa. Ma, I found Pa.
Now, Lucille dear, didn't I tell you those people were friends of mine and not to worry?
Well, I didn't know you would be gone all day now, did I? I don't mean to fret, but if you just disappear like that... Ma, I will be in my room, okay? Call me when dinner is ready. Let's go. Actually, hold on. Do you have a powder for me?
All that sightseeing has given me quite an appetite. I wonder what's for dinner.
Your father can set the table tonight. You go upstairs and have a rest, dear. I will call you when dinner is ready. Alright. Let us see what we can find here. You found the new item, crayon drawing. All my favorite books are on the top shelf. My clean room, all down to math. At sunset, I'm always too caught up in my book to turn the light on. Oh. What on earth? There is a puzzle hidden here. Randall must have put it here the last time it was over. Let us see what you have, Randall. Poke them totems. Alright. Who is responsible for this mess? Each of these columns should be 3 blocks high and have a totem head on top. The heads were arranged from left to right in this order: yellow, blue, green, red. Can you use the mallet to shunt the blocks around and restore the columns to their original grandeur? Be careful though, you can never hit the top block in a column. Think carefully about which order to hit the blocks in. Okay. I can't knock out the top ones. And it should be rows of 4. Let's see. They were arranged from left to right in this order: yellow, blue, green, red. Okay. I see. Slide the stylus on the touchscreen to move the mallet around on the top screen, the top of the screen. Move the mallet over an arrow next to a block to highlight the arrow, then tap the touchscreen to hit the block and shunt it in that direction. Can you hit all the blocks into place? I will try. Okay, so knock that. Alright. They will need to be 3 high, so can knock that. Alright. Can knock that. Don't have any moves left. Yeah, it should be correct. Is that not what I was supposed to do? Can you use the mana to shunt the blocks around and restore the columns to their original grandeur? Each of these columns should be 3 blocks high and have a totem head on top. The heads were arranged from left to right in this order: yellow, blue, green, red. Oh, I mixed. Okay, I see what I did wrong. I see what I did wrong. Okay. I swapped the green and the red one. How did they want me to fix it though? If I drop you, it will be too low, which means I need to do that. If I do that, it goes back to this positioning. Okay, I think I see. So we do this, we do that. We do this.
Here goes. Puzzles can be quite fun.
There we go. Well done. Even the totem heads themselves seems happy to be back in their place. Or do they? He must have sneaked it while I wasn't looking. Seriously, is he that desperate to get me into puzzles? I mean... You're not going to see me object. It's nice to be in my room again. I can finally read that book. But then I would have to stop mid-chapter or something. I hate having to stop, but what else could I do? Titan. Randall seemed really keyed up today, more so than usual. I'm used to his crazy treasure hunt talk, but he has never been so cocksure before. Maybe he has really found something. He was definitely cocksure, that's certain. Come to think of it, weren't he and Dalstone arguing over some old indecipherable map the other day? Wow, I'm actually feeling quite curious. Randall must be getting through to me. Worrying thought. Still, imagine if we really did discover an ancient artifact. That would be terrific. Airshell? Airshell! Dinner is ready! What? Already? That was quick. I'm coming, mother.
How was your school, son? Anything exciting happen?
Not really, just the usual. Well, now that you mention it, I lost a fencing bout to Randall. What is the score now then? Have they decided which one of you will be going to the next tournament? I'm not about to let Randall beat me, Ma. I just need a bit more time to practice. That's the spirit. How about pudding to stunt you up then? Oh, no thanks, Ma.
You sure, son? There might not be any left after I've been at it.
No. I told Randall I will meet him after dinner. Is that okay? Now? Isn't it a bit late to be going out? Don't worry, Mom. We are just going to sit around in Randall's room and talk. Don't stay out too late, will you? I won't. Thanks, Mom. See you later. Alright. Let us check the room and then let us leave. So... bed. It may not be modern, but I always get a good night rest. Okay. I would love to travel the world someday. I was hoping for a puzzle to be hidden in the carpet, but I guess that's not going to happen, eh? Okay, I already saw that. Favorite books, mother tying up, okay. I think I'm done here. Don't think there is anything I forgot. Alright, do you have a puzzle for me, father? You do?
So, you're off to Randall's again, are you? I hope the escorts don't mind you turning up at all hours.
It's okay, Pa, really.
Well now, didn't you say your friend Randall has a penchant for puzzles? Maybe we'd like this one.
Let's see. Fairway Fever. Okay. 4 golfers named Mr. Black, Mr. White, Mr. Brown, and Mr. Blue were competing in a tournament. The caddy didn't know who was who, so she asked the 3 of them. So she asked 3 of the 4. One of them, Mr. Brown, told her a lie. Okay. A. B is Mr. Black. B. I'm not Mr. Blue. Okay. C. Mr. White? That's D. So who is Mr. Blue? Okay. So we know that we have one liar. We know that she didn't speak to one person. She didn't speak to Mr. D. Oh, just D, since we don't know which Mr. A is. Okay. So if A is a truth teller, and it says B is Mr. Black, then what B says and not Mr. Blue is also correct. So both A and B should be correct. But then Mr. C says Mr. White, that's D. So according to that logic, D will be Mr. White. We don't get any information from Mr. D. And also we know one of them need to be a liar, right? If one of them is a liar, if C is lying, and C is saying Mr. White, that's D, then basically we'll be saying that either he is Mr. White or that Mr. White is one of the other two, which is a bit tricky if I do it like that. So let's say that C is correct. Let's say that C is true. So A says B is Mr. Black. If A says that B is Mr. Black and B is lying, he's saying I'm not Mr. Blue, which is correct because A said that he is Mr. Black, and he's saying that he is not Mr. Blue. So that won't work out. That will be a conflict. And if we said A is a liar, so if A is a liar and he says B is Mr. Black, so it means that B is not Mr. Black, and it means that B is also not blue, and it also says that Mr. White, that's D. Okay, that actually works with all of them. So if we go by that logic, who is Mr. Blue then? Okay. So we know that A is a liar. So B is Mr. Black. And we know that D is Mr. White. But we don't know then who is Mr. Blue. And we don't know who is Mr. Black. Unless we can... well, I mean, we can technically say that if B is lying, then B is Mr. Black. Then A is Mr. Black. So if A is black... Yeah, if A is black and D is... Mr. White, it means that C would be Mr. Blue. Yeah, it would mean that C is Mr. Blue. And A would be Mr. Brown, from that logic. And that kinda works out. Yeah, so let's go with that. So C should be Mr. Blue.
I'm not certain.
Okay, messed up.
Well, I'm
Pay
hardly
attention to the
surprised.
fact that you already know the name of the person who lied. Alright, once again. I'm saying that A is a liar. If A is a liar, he's saying B is Mr. Black. If A is lying, then B is not Mr. Black. We don't know what A is, so we're not going to assume what A is. We do know that A is Mr. Brown. And we know that B is not Mr. Blue and not Mr. Black. Which means that then it will be Mr. White, which doesn't work out. So okay, there is a conflict in that. Alright, that's why it didn't work out. Okay, so let's go about it again. So if B is lying, if B is the liar, he's saying the truth line will be I'm Mr. Blue. But we know that only Mr. Brown told the lie. So it can't be that Mr. B is the liar. So it's not that. And we know that C says that Mr. White, that's D. Okay. So if we are saying that C is the liar, then C is Mr. Brown. So now we know this is Mr. Brown. We know that B is not Mr. Black and not Mr. Blue, which means that he is Mr. White. So now we have Mr. Blue that we need to decide, and we need to know who is Mr. Black. Now we need to know who is Mr. Blue and who is Mr. Wait. Brown, white, Yeah. No. Okay. Once again, we are saying that C is lying. So D is not Mr. White. We know that B then will be Mr. Black. So B is black. C is brown. Now we only have two colors left. We have white and blue. So we know that D is the lie for Mr. White, which means that D can't be white. Which means that A would be Mr. White. Which means that D should be Mr. Blue. Yes. D should be Mr. Blue.
I think this may be it.
Okay.
Puzzles can be quite fun.
Well played. The lying Mr. Brown is C. Since the statement is false, D must be Mr. Blue. Alright. But I told you, I don't even like puzzles that much.
Oh, hogwash. You like puzzles, alright. You are my son.
He doesn't like puzzles? What lies is that?
Old escort is not a bad chap, but he's a real stick in the mud. You should give that boy of his more encouragement.
Okay, mother also have a puzzle for me. Oh, hello dear. Why aren't you going out? I am, but I just realized I left something behind. Really? You would forget your hair if it wasn't glued, if it wasn't gelled in or gelled on. But since you're here, would you ever look at this apron for me? At the apron? Okay. Patterned apron. I wonder if you can solve this riddle. I folded up my dear old apron in 3 different ways. It makes the flower pattern look different each time, see? All you have to do is tell me what the pattern would look like when I unfold the apron. Look at the images A, B and C above and put the flowers on the apron. Look at the images A, B and C and put the flowers on the apron. Okay, I see. So basically, she wants me to set these flowers based on the shapes that we see. Okay. Right. Well, the thing is, I can't tell if the apron is flipped over in the other areas, so I can't just willy-nilly just shove them in. Okay. Let's try something. So we have these right next to each other. Okay. And just we have 2 of them far away. Also, there should be 1 in the middle, from the look of it. Or is that just like a distance away? I think it might just be a distance away, I don't think it's the middle. Okay, so if it's distance away... should be that, I believe. Okay, and the last one... we don't know where he's being positioned. We do know that there is two of them with some distance between each other. So basically it can be here, it can be here. It can also be technically here, we don't really have an indication which direction it is. Okay, so... we have these three. So I said that this is the front. I said B is basically the front area. Which put this there and this here. And C... no, A shows me the corner, so... basically it needs to be folded into a square in order to do this shape. In order to do the shape, it needs to be a square. So you flip that, that. Which basically we are only seeing this area. For A, basically this is A, and then B is this area. That's B. C is a triangle, which should be either this one or other side. Which means the last one should be here. Okay, let's try that.
Here goes.
Okay.
Oh, I thought maybe...
There must be something that can help you identify each part of the apron. Alright, so I made the wrong assumption about the location. So I assume that I need to just flip them over, so it should be like something like that. Let's just double check. Yeah, should be done.
I'm not certain.
Yeah, it was either up
Did
or
I get
down. I
it?
just wasn't sure. Cause I can't tell based on the lining. Right you are. This is what the pattern looks like when the apron is folded up. You can tell which part you are looking at by where the apron stripes are when the apron spreads are and the direction they point. I do like the haphazard way the flowers are arranged. Quick as always, alright, off you go dear, have fun. Thanks Ma, bye. Okay. I don't think we have any secret stuff other than the stuff that I already picked. I assume it's only like new puzzles from the people, and that's it. It will kinda suck if they won't let me come back to this timeline and collect stuff later. Which is why I'm being extra careful. Okay, I don't see anything else. Alright. Let's actually save. It's been a while since I saved. Okay. And let's take a short break. It's been almost 3 hours. I said that I need to take my breaks every 2 or so hours, so yeah. Let's take a short break. So I should be right back. Alright, I'm back. So let us continue the story. Let us see how they find the mask, what the mask is all about, and all of that. So yeah. Hello. Uncle Dog. Oh, Herschel boy. What are you doing out at a time like this? Hello, Uncle Doug. I'm just going around to Randall's house. Oh? And what is the young sir plotting this time? You keep an eye on him, won't you? If anything happens to that boy, his father will have the whole country up in arms. It is alright, Uncle Doug. We are only going to chat. That didn't stop Mr. Escort sending you home last time. Try not to antagonize the man, Herschel. He won't even know I'm there. See you tomorrow. Want it? Want it now? I don't know if there like spawn new items in this game. Okay, for example, right now there was a coin. In the other games they do, so it makes one wonder whether there might be something here. Okay, let's keep moving. Oh, hello. Layton, is that you? Good evening, Mr. Collins. What are you doing lurking around the school gate at this hour? Have you finished the short essay I gave you? Pretty much. You will no doubt find this puzzle a piece of cake then. Okay. Brave the caves. A young explorer wants to go from point 1 to point 5. To do so, he must pass through the correct 4 caves in the cave complex shown. The wrong caves are filled with horrible traps. He has with him 4 photos, A to D, taken by an explorer who made it through successfully. Work out the correct route using the photographs, however, keep in mind that you don't know which photo was taken well. I see. The young explorer wants to go from point 1 to point 5. This way must pass to the correct 4 caves. In the caves complex shop below, the wrong caves are filled with horrible traps. Okay. What is the purpose of showing me the red, green, blue lines though? Work the correct route using the photographs, however keep in mind that you don't know which photo was taken well. Yeah, I don't get why they... Huh. Okay. Okay. So we know that D is looking at 2 cave openings. Which means that D is this area, I believe. Oh. No, it should be... two cave openings in an angle, so that's actually incorrect. Okay. Okay, so from 1, yeah, if we go from 1 to 2, the pathway should be either A or C, because that's the view that we get. So either A or C. B should be the ending, I believe. So B is 5 basically. Which means that C or A are the one that looks at the wall. And also I chose that I should have 2 walls. So technically speaking, when I come out of the cave, I should be looking at a wall. Okay. Can I write? No, I can't write name on the actual picture. Okay. So I believe that D is 3. And I believe that the angle should be the yellow one. So it should be this one. It should be this one when you come in. Right? You come in, you will see these 2 walls. But the angle is very tricky because if the angle is straight on, you are supposed to see the cave. The angle is the corner, it will be possibly this one, so it can be either that or that. Yeah, let's leave it like that for a second. So either that or that. Okay, so the view from 1 to 2. Also I can set B to be... Let's see, if you come over from a corner, B should be 5, and the angle should be the upper one, because it curves from the inside. So it should be 5. D shows me a direct view. Again, direct view to see the thing. So I believe it's the red one. I'm not certain. And we have C and A. Okay, the angle of both C and A is a curve to the right side, which means either it's 4 or 2. So what is my view in 4 and what is my view in 2? My view in 4 will be the wall in that angle. Little bit of greenery. I mean, it doesn't really matter, right? Since I know that both of them are curves, right? So it should be both just like that. It doesn't really matter that much. Okay, so the question is, which way are we going with the... Are we going with the direct one or the side one? The fact that the door is straight on tells me that we are supposed to walk in a straight line, not in a curved line. So it should be the middle area. All the other ones should be the curved ones because they are from the sides. So yeah, let's try that.
Here goes.
Yep, there we go.
Puzzles can be quite fun.
Puzzle can be quite fun indeed. Correct. If you have a good look at the scenery in the distance of each photo, you can tell where they were taken. The light will be on the left-hand side of a cave that bends right, and vice versa. With this in mind, you can work out the correct route. Alright. You've done your homework after all. Yes, sir. Well, don't stay out too late. We don't want your mother to start worrying. I won't, sir. Can I go inside? I spend enough time at school during the day. I should just go straight to Randall's house. Okay, guess I can't. Oh, it's the big guy. All those questions about... what was it? The Mask of Chaos? What soft-boiled scheme has he cooked up this time? Okay, so this bad one. What is Dalston doing out here this hour? That's a good question. Oi, Layton. A bit late for a stroll. I could say the same to you, Dalston. Do your parents know... do your parents even know you're out? Maybe, maybe not. Who cares? I go where I like when I like. Hey, I just saw Angela go by. You aren't having another of your little archaeology parties, are you? I really don't know what Angela sees in that posh brat. His parents aren't even as rich as mine. Well... And what about you, Layton? Aren't you tired of playing along with all Brascott's potty ideas? I might not care about the archaeology, but I do enjoy listening to Randall in full rant. He's good at talking, that's for sure. Never shuts up. But aren't we getting a bit old for kiddie adventures? They aren't kiddie adventures, Dalston. Anyway, we're only 17. We are already 17, you mean? Thought you would have grown out of puzzles and riddles by now. Like this one. How easy is this? What is it talked about? Mangled mats. Dalston has posed Herschel a mat problem. It's written on a homework sheet, but it's torn in several places, making it very difficult to read. Dalston smirks as he watched Herschel examine the puzzle. With an air of self-satisfaction, he says, "Still struggling? but this is the simplest math problem ever. Can you help Herschel work out the answer to the problem? Write down the number. Okay. Write down the number. Which number am I supposed to write? Okay, so 351 plus 362 equals A. Oh, either that or 800. It can be also 851. It can also be 4? No, it can be 4 because there isn't another thing there. So it should be only 1. Okay, so 351. Let's say. Okay, so if we go by that logic, then 351 plus 362. 300 plus 300 is 600. Then 51 plus 62. So we have 1 plus 2 is 3, and we have 60 plus 50, which is 110. Yeah, 110. So 710 plus 3. 713. So 713 minus 709 is 4. So equal 4, I assume it's supposed to write there, equal B. So B is equal 4. Or 0. And the other one I said 713. 713. Okay, let's write down. It's going to be a bit too much for me to remember. Let's bring out the notes. Alright, so we have 713 plus 4. And what do we do with that? Minus 630. Okay. And something 90. Okay. So that will be 700 minus 600 is 130. Then we need to reduce 34 basically. So let's reduce the 3 just for the sake of it. So we have 110 minus 21. Which means that it will be 90, 89? Let's double check that I do my math correctly. 713 plus 4 minus 613. 87. Okay, I was wrong with it. Oh, I see why. I see why. Okay, so it's 87. But then it says that we are supposed to do something with 90. So either I did one of the other stuff incorrectly, or something else is supposed to happen now. So let's see. 1051 plus 1062 is 713. Okay, so this was correct. Minus 709 is 4. Okay, so 4 equal B, A equal 713. So far I did everything correctly. But it says 87. So since it's not equal to 90, I assume it's supposed to be plus 90? So that's a plus 90. It should be 177. I think. Okay, here we go again. Let's see.
I think this may be it.
Nope.
I need another go at that one.
Dawson says it's a simple problem. That can be right, or can it? It's a simple problem. Can you help Archer work out the answer to the problem? Write down the number. Okay, if I'm not supposed to make it complicated. What am I missing here? Okay, let's say that it's not equal to 4, but it's like plus 4, minus 4. So minus 709. Okay, so let's say it's 4 minus 4, which means that B is 0. So 713 minus 630 is 83. So is that 83 plus 90? That will make it 173. Which again brings the question rather... It's really a simple question. 173. Okay, what if we do it differently? So 713 minus 8, let's say. So that's 705. So that we reduce by 630, it's 75. Okay, so then it will be 75 plus 90? We have several options here. And again, it can also be that the 3 up there is not 3 but 8. So then it will be a completely different number. Let's see, if it's 8, so 851 plus 362 is 1213 minus 709. Okay, 504. So that's minus 4. Again, that's not a simple math. What am I missing here? 504. So the question now whether it's plus 4 or minus 4. Let's say it's minus 4, so it will be 500, okay? So 1013 plus 500 is 1713. Okay, minus 630. It's 1083. Yeah, that doesn't make it simpler. What am I missing? Solve the simple problem. Solve the simple problem. What's so simple about this problem? No, I can only see it as complicated maths. Well, complicated in addition and subtraction, but still complicated. Like, it's not simple maths. Let's say that B is 8. Let's say it's plus 4, so it's 8, okay? So 713 plus 8 minus 630. It's 91. I don't think that's a coincidence. So 91 minus 90 will be 1. How did you get 6 out of that? How are you getting 6 out of that, buddy? Alright.
I think this may be it.
No, that's incorrect.
I need another go at that one.
Okay. So it's not 91 minus 90. Is it 91 plus 90? Like, it doesn't make it simple. Which makes me quite certain that what I'm doing is incorrect. I'm going to try it anyway.
Here goes.
Yo.
Oh, I thought maybe.
Still struggling, but this is the simplest math problem ever. Can you help Herschel work out the answer to the problem? Write the number. Write down the number. Write down the number. Which number? Which number do you want me to write down? Is the question. Which number? I guess I will take a hint. Yeah, let's take a hint. Just smoothing out the creases won't help. There are some necessary parts of the equations missing that make it impossible to solve. However, Downstone seems convinced that it's a simple problem. Surely he wouldn't say that about multiple variable equations. What's going on? Okay, so smoothing the crevices won't give us the answer, which is technically what I've been doing. Filling in the blanks. Will the answer be 90? Because like it's written over there, equal 90.
Here goes.
No.
Oh, I thought maybe.
What do you want from me? 90 equal something. 90 equals something. They don't want me to do maths. Not really. So what do they want me to do? Yeah, I don't see that. That's another hint. Why does Dalton, who is standing right in front of Herschel, find it so much easier to solve? He's looking at the homework sheet upside down. Shouldn't that just make it harder to read? Try looking at it upside down yourself and see if it helps at all. I mean, I see 1 and 1 or 1 7. But is that what they mean? Like, really? I figure it's just like some random nonsense. So either the answer is -6 or 0. Again, depends what
I
they're
think
doing.
this may be it.
No.
I need another go at that one.
Okay. So it's not 0, so it's not 2 ones. I'm not allowed to put the... so let's just put 6.
I think this may be it.
No.
I need another go at that one.
Okay. So if it's not 7, it is possible it's 2. So 1 minus 2? Oh, they tried 1. It wasn't correct. And I can't type -1. So what else can I do here? The way it's written is supposed to be 7, I'm pretty sure. One minus 7, 1 minus 2, 1. But how does it help me solve it? I don't get it. Like, yeah, I saw it, but don't get how it helps me. I don't think I'm supposed to fold it over. Yeah, it don't make sense to fold it over. won't make the number that I need. But technically speaking, if I did fold it over, it does 2 minus 1. Like if you flip over the paper and realign it, you'll say 2 minus 1. But I already wrote 1 and it didn't work. And I also wrote 6 in case it's a 7, it didn't do anything. Maybe it's a 5? No, but the 5 will be written differently. Well... I mean, I can try. Come on, give me my 4. You did before.
I think this may be it.
No.
I need another go at that one.
I don't see it. I do not see it. So we have 1 and possibly 2, possibly 7, possibly 5. I assume it's 2. Makes the most sense to me for it to be a 2. But when you flip the paper, it will be 2 in the wrong order. If you do a complete flip, it will look more like a reverse 2, which is why I said it's a 5. But it's incorrect. I did the right one.
Here
I'm certain I
goes.
did. Yeah, I did the right one.
Oh, I thought maybe...
Okay, there is something else I'm missing. Let's take another hint. When you look at the sheet upside down, did you notice anything? Maybe Dawson isn't looking at those equations at all. Incidentally, those rips in the paper are shaped quite strangely. Is there some kind of special meaning to them? Yeah, it still didn't do what I wanted. Is there any other number that will fit this weird equation? Not really. No. I'm going to unlock the last one. Look at the sheet upside down and focus only on the ripped parts. It looks as if they form a math problem of their own. 17 minus 2. Wait, that's a 7? Are you kidding me? This doesn't look like anything. Alright, the answer is 15 then. But that doesn't look like anything. It makes no sense.
Here goes. Puzzles can be quite fun.
Correct. Hope you didn't tear your hair out. From where Darson is standing, the torn part of the page appear to form a much simpler math problem. 17 minus 2. The answer, of course, is 15. Yeah, I didn't see the 7. I saw the 1 and 2. I didn't see the 7. Alright. Fifth. I think Escort infected you with his puzzle tease. You pretend not to care, but you enjoy it really. You and Angela. I can't afford to get wrapped up in your little games. Not if I want to become a successful hotel magnate. By the way, I saw that errand boy from the escort house carrying 2 huge shopping bags earlier. Now, there is a busy bee, and he is no older than us. You would never catch me being bossed around like that. Well, you're not Henry, as long as he's happy with it. Yeah, aren't you just the same though? Letting his lordship, Count Bratula, lead you around by the nose? You sound awfully sore, Dalston. If you want to join us, you should just say so. Anyway, I really should go. See you tomorrow. Yep, Dalton sounds very sour. Aren't you going over to Ascot's place? Yes, but what about you? Are you heading home soon? I am enjoying the evening air. Don't worry your pretty head about it. Alright. Can I go over there? Hang on, Randall's house is not that way. He will get all worked up if I'm late, so I'd better not make any detours. Alright.
Oh, Herschel!
Angela, perfect timing.
Beautiful night, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Randall seems to be quite single-minded lately.
Yeah, that's Randall. I think his enthusiasm is one of the reasons I admire him.
I suppose.
But that passion makes him easily excitable. You know, you're very good for him. You keep him balanced.
Is balanced the same as boring?
No. Randall's lucky. We're both looking out for him.
Yes, he is lucky, isn't he? He's got a kind girlfriend who's concerned about his well-being, and a loyal best friend.
Ah.
You'll always look out for him, won't you, Herschel? Promise me.
Yes. I promise.
I don't like that. Ah, fresh air. It's good to go outside once in a while. I hope things can just stay the way they are, like this. Okay, so now we have Angela with us. Okay. I slept here once before. Let's take care not to do that again. Oh, the way the stream sparkles in the moonlight is just so beautiful. Why do I have a romantic time with Angela right now? I find it very strange. Very strange indeed. Oh. So something. Okay, let's move on. Right, let's sneak in the usual way. Yes, I think that will be best. Alright. Oh. This ivy on the wall is really the VIP entrance to Randall Room, isn't it? Ah, I reckon I can count on one hand the number of times I've been in through the front door. Randall's father isn't that bad, you know. He's just, very strict. Randall hasn't opened the window yet, has he? We will have to send a signal. Yep. Would you care to do the honors, Herschel? Alright. Number 27. The ring... That rings a bell. Okay. Ring the bell and send the signal to Randall. Set the order in which the 4 slingshots are shot. The shots will only bounce off the first thing they come into contact with, and any obstructions they hit will break and disappear. Get it right and the bell will ring. Okay, the shot will only bounce off the first thing they come in contact with, and any obstructions they hit will break and disappear. Slide the number shots into the slingshots. Once the slingshots are loaded, touch the submit to fire all the shots in order. The goal is to make one of the shots ring the bell. Okay. These are the bullets, I assume. Am I allowed to move them? No. They are set in a very specific angle. That will fly that way. How does that help me? I need to see how it works. I don't understand what's the logic here. Okay. Interesting. So 4 kept bouncing, but the reason why 4 kept bouncing is because nothing was left. So, okay. So what we are actually seeing is the things below us. Yeah, okay. Okay, we are below and this is above, basically. So we shoot this first to take out the cat. We shoot that to take out the plant. And then this will bounce off, I think. Maybe. Wait again. Okay, the shot is technically still active after I shoot it. So if I... do that... no, it still doesn't touch the bone. Okay, so if I take out the cat, I take out the cats. Okay, there we go.
Here goes.
Not perfect, but that's fine.
Puzzles can be quite fun.
Well done. The bell rang. Hopefully, Randall heard it. Great, that should do it. Oof. Hey, Randall. Hello. We're not late, are we? I've been waiting ages. Herschel, did you have to protect my Angie from terrible dangers on the way? I am bound to say that the lady did not require my aid, though I would have been glad to provide it. Had the need arisen. Ha ha ha. Oh, come off it. What a gentleman. Eh, Angie? So what is this thing you were going to tell us all about? Yes, don't you have something to show us? Patience, patience, my friends.
Huh?
Oh, yeah. It's the mask.
Is that?
The Mask of Chaos.
The Mask of Chaos? You mean the real Mask of Chaos? The one and only. The artifact Donald Routledge wrote of in his ancient histories. I found it at last. That's a fake, right? It must be. Absolutely not. This is the genuine article. According to Routledge, the myth goes that he who holds the Mask of Chaos may have anything he desires. That is incredible. But it sounds a bit, you know, ominous. Huh. It's just a legend, Herschel. You shouldn't believe everything you read. Still, when I examined the mask, I made an unexpected discovery. Something Routledge didn't mention? Exactly. The mask does indeed possess an extraordinary power. It holds the key to unimaginable fortune and glory. That is to say, if I can crack the puzzle of the mask, it will lead me to the lost treasure of an ancient civilization. Well, what do you say? Doesn't it fill you with a thirst for adventures? No. To begin with, we don't even know if that really is the Mask of Chaos. Where did you get it from? Hehehe. Excellent question, my dear Herschel. It wasn't easy. I had to crack a devilish puzzle to get my hands on the mask. A puzzle? What puzzle?
Take a look at this. Behold!
What is this?
I don't understand.
We made the trip to Monte to investigate the Mask of Chaos. There, we witnessed a terrifying sight. Civilians petrified before our very eyes. We met Angela Lador, an old friend of the Professor's. We also learned of a tragic event in Professor Layton's past. I didn't get much sleep that night, but the sunrise was quite beautiful.
Oh, yes, saving focus, please. Chapter 3 Discord in Monte.
Where is...
Alright. I think actually that's where we're going to wrap up for today. Again, I don't want to push myself whenever I do these games because it's actually wrecking my throat quite badly. So we're going to aim for doing one chapter at a time. So I believe that's where we shall wrap it up for today. So yeah. So let us do that. Alright, so once again, thank you all for watching, thank you for hanging out, and thank you for keeping company. But that shall be it for today.